Welcome back to the channel, friends. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Ree, and I'm a professional educator who is also a homeschooling mom. Now, on this channel, I focus on homeschooling, education in general, and personal care topics. So if you find this content enjoyable, please consider subscribing today and joining our Blissful Connections family. We'd really love to have you. Now, we're going to continue with my dear friend's true story of surviving a toxic relationship. As we continue to share this information, please know our intent is to help others that unfortunately may be dealing with the same thing or something similar. Please know you don't have to deal with abuse. There's never a time when it's okay to abuse or be abused by another. So seek the help you need immediately to take care of you and your loved ones. Dear Journal, it's been 2 weeks since I last wrote, and in that time, my thoughts have been consumed by him. The mysterious man with the piercing light brown eyes has been a constant presence in my mind, haunting my thoughts like a lingering ghost. But today, something unexpected happened. I finally had the chance to meet him face to face, and it was both exhilarating and terrifying all at once. It happened at the bookstore downtown. I was browsing the shelves after leaving my office for the day, lost in the world of words, when I heard a familiar voice behind me. Turning around, I found myself face to face with him, the man who had been occupying my thoughts for days on end. His presence was even more commanding up close, his features etched with a quiet intensity that sent shivers down my spine, and those eyes, they seemed to bore into me, stripping away my defenses with their unrelenting gaze. For a moment we stood there, locked in a silent exchange that spoke volumes without a single word being uttered. It was as if time stood still, the rest of the world fading into the background as we existed in our own universe. And then he spoke. His voice was like velvet, smooth and rich, with an undercurrent of danger that sent a thrill coursing through me. He asked me about a book I was holding, and before I knew it, we were engaged in a conversation that flowed effortlessly between us. I should have been wary. I should have remembered the sense of unease that had plagued me since our first encounter. But in that moment, all I could think about was how good it felt to be in his presence, how right it felt to share this fleeting connection with him. As we talked, I found myself opening up to him in a way I never thought possible. It was as if he had cast some kind of spell over me, drawn out parts of myself that I had long kept hidden away. But even as I reveled in the warmth of his attention, a small voice in the back of my mind whispered a warning, a reminder that not everything is as it seems, and that sometimes the most alluring facades hide the darkest truths. Only time will tell what lies beneath those piercing light brown eyes and whether I'm strong enough to resist their pull. Yours in uncertainty, Sarah. Dear Journal, I can hardly believe it, but it's happened. We're going on a date. After weeks of exchanging flirtatious glances and engaging in conversations that left me craving more, he finally asked me out, and I couldn't even be more excited than this. We decided to meet at a cozy little bistro downtown, the kind of place where the lighting is soft and the atmosphere is warm and inviting. Now, as I got ready for our date, I couldn't help but feel a flutter of nerves right in the pit of my stomach. What if he didn't like me as much as I liked him? What if our connection was nothing more than a figment of my imagination? But as soon as I saw him waiting for me outside the bistro, all of my fears melted away. He looked even more handsome than I remembered, his light brown eyes sparkling with anticipation as he greeted me with a smile that set my heart racing. Now, as we settled into our seats and began to chat, I couldn't help but marvel at how easy our conversation flowed. It was as if we had known each other for years rather than mere weeks. We laughed, we shared stories, and with each passing moment, I felt myself falling deeper under this man's spell. But then something unexpected happened again. As we talked about our lives, our interests, and our circle of friends, we realized that we knew some of the same people. It was a strange coincidence, one that left us both scratching our heads in disbelief. Now, how is it possible that we've never crossed paths before? He mused, his brow furrowing slightly as he pondered the mystery. I couldn't help but wonder the same thing. After all, our social circles seem to overlap in so many ways, and yet somehow our paths never crossed until now. It was as if fate had been keeping us apart, only to finally bring us together at this very moment. As the evening wore on, our connection deepened, and I found myself opening up to him in ways I never thought possible. And yet, even as I reveled in the warmth of his presence, a small voice in the back of my mind whispered a warning again. A reminder that not everything is as it seems, and that sometimes the most unexpected connections can lead to the darkest of revelations. Well, but for now, I'm just going to push those thoughts aside, choosing instead to focus on the here and now, the magic of this moment, and the promise of what tomorrow may bring. Yours in anticipation, Sarah. Dear Journal, since our first date, I've been floating on a cloud of happiness, unable to shake the feeling that I've finally found someone truly special. And yet, even as I bask in the warmth of this newfound connection, a nagging sense of doubt lingers in the back of my mind, a whisper of caution that refuses to be ignored. So, in an effort to ease my concerns, I did reach out to some of the people we both know, hoping to gain some insight into the man who's captured my heart. The feedback I received was overwhelmingly positive, with friends and acquaintances alike singing this man's praises as a hardworking, dedicated individual with a heart of gold. And yet, there was a common thread running through their descriptions, a subtle undercurrent of unease that left me feeling unsettled. They spoke of him as a man who was always a little too premeditated in his actions, a little too calculated in his approach to life. They described him as kind and well meaning, but undeniably strange in his own way. I couldn't help but wonder what they meant by strange. I mean, was it simply a byproduct of his career choice as a CEO, a world where ambition and ruthlessness often go hand in hand? Or was there something more sinister lurking beneath the surface, something that even his closest friends were unable to see? On paper, he seems like the perfect catch. I mean, successful, ambitious, and seemingly untainted by the messy entanglements of marriage and family life. Yet, the more I learn about him, the more I find myself questioning whether I truly know him at all. But for now, I again choose to focus on the positives, the warmth of his smile, the kindness in his eyes, and the undeniable connection that continues to grow between us with each passing day. Only time will tell what secrets lie hidden behind those piercing light brown eyes and whether I'm strong enough to face them when the time comes. Yours in uncertainty, Sarah. Thank you, friends, for watching part 4. Stay tuned for part 5. Now, in the meantime, please take care of yourself and your loved ones. If you have not already done so, please subscribe, like, and comment below with some words of encouragement for my friend Sarah as she continues working through the healing process in the midst of sharing her truth. This becomes difficult for her, and it did so a few weeks ago, and she stopped, but found it in herself to go forward again thereafter as she feels ready to go into this process again to speak about her truth. Please know that you are helping her as she hopes to help others. So I sincerely thank you for all of your previous positive words of encouragement. They have been a source of comfort for her. I also continue to ask for your support as she becomes more vulnerable with her story and shares the video with other people that you believe will be able to receive help from this. Take care, everyone. We wish you a day full of love, joy, and peace. Bye for now.